America, love it or leave it. If you don't have respect in American democracy anymore, if you don't respect Madisonian checks and balances, if your guy doesn't win, if that's the new rules of engagement for this great republic, then just leave our country. Get the facts, live in the light, follow the truth, and love this country, and stop this.
Oh, man, what does that ass remind you of? Just do it!
Don't let your dreams be dreams. Yesterday, you said tomorrow, so just do it! Make your dreams come true!
You know, maybe he should host Morning Joe. So Joe Biden's presidency is starting off worse than a Fox and Friends cooking segment. A lot of grease fires. First, the border is a disaster. Inflation is at its highest since 2008. I did the math, that's 13 years, the time it took Biden to pass the bar. And then there was this.
My Coast Guard aides have been excellent. One of them taught me that, and I quote, "The Coast Guard is that hard nucleus about which the Navy forms in time of war."
I can only assume that you will enjoy educating your family about how the Coast Guard is, quote, "the hard nucleus around the Navy forms in times of war." You're a really dull class. I mean, come on, man.
Is there anything Joe Biden hasn't plagiarized? It's too bad he couldn't copy and paste the laughter, too. I kid, whichever puppeteer is controlling him. But there's other stuff. Unemployment is still higher than Carly Shimkus at brunch. In Biden's defense, we are paying people not to work, creating unemployment with a surplus of jobs. Like Jerry Nadler's pants, it defies the laws of physics. So what were the press covering besides their sorry asses? Media Research Center assessed evening news coverage from the first 2 weeks of May and found almost no mention of Joe's failures. There's a few minutes on inflation, a few on jobs, nothing on the border. Instead, they spent a combined 33 minutes on Liz Cheney. Yeah, the most important thing going on in America is Republicans removing an unpopular Republican, not that your savings are shrinking. I mean, if you're going to rank stories in order of importance to average Americans, this story would come in slightly higher than a guy finding a Cheeto that looks like Jesus. But Liz didn't seem to mind. She soaked up the attention like Kill Mead at a nude beach. I call it the strange new earned respect disorder, or SNERD for short. Snerding is when people who hate you suddenly like you because you're useful. And since the attention feels good, you go right along with the snerd herd. It happened with Mitt. It happened with Adam Kinzinger. It happened with Barry Manilow when he joined the Manson family. That didn't happen. I just needed a fourth example. But it's also happening to the bald-headed pinheads of the Lincoln Project, but they're too dumb to realize it yet. So as the media flocked to Liz, what did she say?
I will do everything I can to ensure that the former president never again gets anywhere near the Oval Office.
That's some goal. Not doing what your constituents want, but what makes you feel good. That's like hosting a news show and showing nothing but pictures of your dog. That'll get back to her. But I get it. I mean, after being hated for so long, it's nice to have the press pretending you're human. The word there, of course, is pretending. It's like that fake friend from school who gives you bad advice because they have their own agenda. Sure, you can study for the test on the bus in the morning. Now shut up and shotgun this can of Colt 45. Hey, Darla, if you get pregnant, you'll be the most famous person in algebra. Or, sure, I think you can make it from the roof to the swimming pool. Never should have said that to Seth. He doesn't call me anymore. He doesn't call anyone anymore. That's the media. They want you to do stuff that's good for them and bad for you. A Labor Department report shows core inflation growing at its highest rate since April 1982. That was when Kat was only 10. CBS Evening News gave it only 11 seconds, which is the same amount of time it takes me to climb to the top of Tyrus like he's a human rock wall. The reason for inflation? The stimulus. That's what happens when you pump more money into the system. It's supply and demand. A larger amount of money competes for the same amount of stuff, so the stuff gets more expensive and the money loses value. It's like what happened to Brian Kilmeade. They overexposed him, diminishing a great product.
That's the joke?
Yes.
The setup was the joke?
Yes, but the media pushed the stimulus, so now they're mum. I wonder what the angry white male thinks.
Oh, hey, just hanging upside down by my ankles. You know, I don't trust the mainstream media at all anymore, and I've never been happier. I saved so much time not reading the New York Times. It allows me to do all the things I really want to do, like hang upside down by my ankles. When I hang upside down by my ankles, all the blood rushes to my head, and it gives me a peaceful feeling. Sometimes I stay here until the world seems right side up. And then when I turn right side up, the world seems upside down. You should try it. Or maybe not.
I'm worried about him. So once again, you get what the press wants you to get. There are information overlords who crave control. It wasn't always this way. Centuries ago, the first reporter only jotted down notes of village activities. No one minded because it kept him from the sheep. His stories would be something like, goat seen in forest looking confused, or the cobbler soiled himself in the park, or journalist mounts goat in effort to scare cobbler. Then they got self-important and began injecting their opinions into stories. The earth is flat. Women and minorities hit hardest. The press morphed from insignificant to powerful because they wrote their own narrative and created their own awards. They would be the protagonists in all of their stories, fearless, deeply moral, and lying, because lying embellishes dull stories. And it's okay to be unethical if you think you're right. Plus, destroying people is exciting. It's why today local stories are now national. Oh, someone left a mean message on a restaurant receipt. Stop the presses. Let's ruin someone for a click. Today, the mainstream media is an ecosystem of gossip columnists pushing conflict for attention because they're not hot or talented enough to be famous in any other industry, present company excluded. Today's press is less legitimate than a guy in an orange jumpsuit claiming to be your Uber driver. It might not be the oldest profession in history, but it might as well be because all it does is screw people.
Period.
Let's welcome tonight's guest. He's our #1 guest when we can't get Steve Doocy. Fox and Friends co-host Brian Kilmeade. If you think her smile is bright, you should see her brain, although that will require surgery. Fox News Headlines 24/7 reporter Carly Shimkus. His parents named him Chadwick because Wentworth Dansby III was taken. Editor of Outspoken and The Spectator columnist Chadwick Moore. She's like a sewing needle, skinny, sharp, and very popular with old people. Fox News contributor Kat Tipp. All right, Brian, you have never broken a story. But don't you think you're more of a journalist than so-called reporters are? Because at least you're true to yourself.
Yes, I'm trying to get over. Should you apologize before you introduce me? Well, I've been through so much, but again, I've said nothing.
Yeah.
So what I think is, I used to enjoy flipping around to see what the competition's doing. Now I see fiction and nonfiction.
Right.
And I don't even know what they're focusing on. I mean, you would think if you flip around to the other channels, January 6th, and then there's January 6th.
Yes.
And then there's, what is Donald Trump doing? And did I mention January 6th?
Yeah.
And there is so much legitimately going on. And here's what I find heartening about it, is you don't need, as much as you need the Gutfeld show, you don't need the Gutfeld show to know that everything's more expensive. You don't need the Gutfeld show to know there's a long line suddenly for gas that was once $1.98.
Right.
or how much your house is worth, or how oppressive your state is. So I think I'll move to a state that isn't. So people are making their judgment, not waiting for the next 30-second spot. Have I gone over my time? I sense when you nod quickly, it's like I should wrap it up.
Oh, I was thinking about what I was going to order today from.
So you were not even paying attention?
Yeah, I'm not even sure what you're saying at this point.
That's
No, I agree with you completely. I agree with you. When people turn on the news, they know they're being lied to because all they have to do is look out the window, Carly. I have a golden rule. If the press suddenly likes you, you're betraying yourself. You have to be suspicious. Like, take Michael Cohen. They hated Michael Cohen, Trump lawyer. And then all of a sudden, he's like their best friend because they can use him for like 7 minutes of Trump hate.
And, you know, speaking of likability, I think what we're seeing happen right now is that a lot of people voted for Biden because of his personality, because he was nice and Trump was mean. And we're really starting to see what happens when you have a president who wants to please everybody. You do things like you give money to both Iran and Palestine. You green light the Russia pipeline to please Germany. You don't wear a mask inside when you're sitting next to the 96-year-old former president, and then you put one on for the cameras outside because it's all about optics and it's all about applause. President Trump was the exact opposite. He obviously didn't care what people thought about him, and he went in there like a wrecking ball and said, you know, NATO needs to pay more. The Iran nuclear deal doesn't make sense. Neither does the Paris Climate Accord. And his goal was really to make America strong. It really feels like Joe Biden's goal is to maintain that popularity and likability.
Yeah, that's true. You know, Chadwick, you're not as good looking as I am. Right. Does it bother you that optics matter more than content?
I think it's just it's in terms of the news. What a question. You know, this is just how this is the game now. This is who they are now.
Yes.
And they're so shameless. They don't even care.
Yeah, they don't hide it.
The only clicks they get are rage clicks. I'm imagining on social media, which is probably good for them. I'm not sure who's watching. It's the airport people, I guess. That's it for one of the networks.
Yes.
But it's shameless. They had this energy like a drug addict about to hit rock bottom, $5 left, scrambling anything. They just need that next hit. They don't know what tomorrow's going to bring, but they cannot help themselves.
Yeah.
They need Trump.
They need
Trump. They need him back. Exactly.
You know who needs Trump? The Cuomos, because the libs are eating themselves because they don't have the massive Trump buffet that kept them fat, and now they're just tearing each other apart, Kat. You understand that feeling.
Oh, yeah, tearing things apart.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, I saw a theory recently when it comes to Biden. A.B. Stoddard at Real Clear Politics said he thinks that they expected that he was going to be president in a divided government, that then Georgia happened.
Yes.
So they were going to say, okay, we'll do all this liberal stuff and we'll say this to, please the progressives, but none of it will ever actually have to happen because, the Senate's going to be Republican. And I think that makes a lot of sense because a lot of people have done things like that, like if you say, yes, I can headline, and then, you're like, oh, I only have 5 minutes. Like, that's the same feeling that you invite somebody to go somewhere because you don't think they'll come, and then they show up. Happens all the time because it is really such a complete mess, and I think it's because they weren't prepared for it.
Yeah. I think, though, if you stop and you think about the media, it's a layer of subjective, it's a variable, a subjective interpretation of life, so that when you put it into any kind of environment, it changes it, even though it's not even part of it. And so, I keep thinking, if the media wasn't around last year, would we have had riots? We probably wouldn't have had riots. Would race be this much of an issue if there wasn't a media? And I'm not saying we shouldn't have a media, but I'm not saying we should not have a media. I don't even know what I just said.
Right. I would say it's not helping. Instead of reporting, it's changing.
Yes,
it's like
thank you.
There's the American people. In this case, I'm sure there's a Renegade or a spin-off Gutfeld show in Britain.
Yes.
Like we spun off The Office very successfully.
Yes.
So in America, we got what's happening, and then what the media wants to tell you what's happening. So they're running their own show.
Yes.
And the thing is, there's no ground to it. I'm just astounded, too. You could take it apart. Obviously, I like this channel the best. And that's what I would say on camera, off camera. But if you look at the ratings, for the longest time, America likes this channel the best. Do you know the CNN didn't break a 1 all day? When you did Red Eye,
yes,
you were doubling that. You're talking about people that can't get it at 6 p.m. as opposed to 2 a.m.
Red Eye was beating Morning Joe at 3 a.m. and they were on like, what, at 8? All right, we got to stop boasting about how awesome we are. Sell some ads.
Sorry about that.
That's okay.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.